Hey YouTube, just finished up a solo shard percent run on a live PvP 2x server. Server is probably the second most active right now. All of the settings are default PvP other than 2x, everything for loot, resources gathered, and then 2x refine rate, and then it is 2.5x inventory stack. So it's the only changes to the server settings outside of PvP normal. It has a 2-hour PvP timer, which was pretty generous, but let's just get into it. And I'm just here to give my kind of thoughts as I go through each thing and maybe give some pointers for other people who are struggling with progression. So let's get after it. Yeah, so I just noticed there's 2 hours and I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what we can do with that. Still don't know how that horse got there. I think that's wild. I guess maybe admin spawned in or something. I genuinely have no idea. I had forgotten to start the timer, so we're a couple seconds behind, but it's not a big deal at the end of the day. So first things first, you're trying to get your quest done on a run like this. On a live wipe, you might consider skipping this until after you get outside of the act or the intro area here, but for now, get bones, lowering that one to let it get low for the next quest, craft my sword, grab some bones, hit the next one, gather all together, sword finishes crafting, then we can kill. We kill 3. I try to hit only 1 at a time when I'm doing those 3 kills, because otherwise you're splitting DPS. And if you need the multiple, then it's fine. I tried to check here to see if the rat's alive. I actually don't know if you can see over that or not. This is something I tried for the first time this run. So you'll see that I'm like, okay, I don't actually know if it's here or not. I come down, I see, okay, it's not, whatever, I get an extra crate, no big deal. Minus probably 20 seconds. On a live start, if it's like wipe, definitely don't do that. It's not worth it. But if you're joining the wipe late, that rat has a guaranteed 12 copper coin drop, and if it's a 2x server, then it's 24, which is pretty nice for getting your recipes in Act 1 more consistently. So now we're gonna head to East Farbane. East Farbane's just by far the fastest that I can figure out for a solo strat. It puts you next to all the bosses you need. Just kind of setting up inventory here. I have binds that I like. I'd recommend figuring out what binds you like and then just kind of sticking with them forever. Always checking for percents here, so trying to find anything with decent blood. Deer are annoying because they like to run off once you hit them, so I don't try to hit them with a spell. I dash to them first, then start hitting them. So then the stun and the knockback of the sword will just kind of keep them in place. Miss, but is whatever. Early on, you need a bunch of blood essence too, so it's worth kind of like going out of your way to kill these things. That was kind of a mistake. There's a 15% creature blood there. Probably should have tried to take that, but honestly, this treant here I probably wouldn't have been able to anyway, so whatever. So I'm kind of heading up towards Alpha Wolf and Rufus. Again, depending on times and whatnot, it's if it's early in a server, you might want to sprint straight to Rufus. There's a couple different strats for it, but pretty much we got our rugged hide so we can hit level 10. I have 1% creature here. I need something that's not frail, so I just drink it, because at this point I'm pretty sure I'm just not going to get anything good for a while. The pathing I take here is like kind of optimized. You're basically just sprinting straight to Rufus as fast as possible, that entire like logging camp. You want to loot as many chests and break as many breakables as you can. Ideally you're looking for 12 plus planks, and then leather, copper coins, bandit weapon, stuff like that. I hit some plant fiber here on the way because I have problems with this normally in some other runs, where I get to my base and I'm trying to set up walls and stuff and I have no plant fiber. So if you can find a good time to go ahead and do that, like just do it whenever. Again, if you're like hard rushing at the very beginning to try to get to Rufus on a wipe, probably skip that stuff, leave it till later, just deal with it when you're at your base, because every second counts when you're trying to get like early chests. I see Alpha Wolf here is already being hit by a pack, or by the two rogues here. I was like, sweet, that's free DPS and Alpha Wolf. I'm never gonna get a faster one, realistically. So it's just, you know, a bunch of free damage. I mean, those guys shred them, which is sick. At this point, I'm like, oh, I want to bring him to the trees for my quest, and then that rogue snipes him. I'm like, okay, dude. I was like, you know what? I can't complain. I think I get one, maybe two trees out of this pop instead of all three for my quest, which would have been nicer, but... Pick up the hind, see some copper coins drop. Yeah, I get one. I just go ahead and finish my quest here so I can craft it, and then I don't have to worry about bone management later. Again, I'm going to say it another time, if you're rushing somewhere, do your rush strat. This is like, I've joined a wipe late strats. I'm just trying to go as fast as possible. Yeah, I could have used my axes like the entire time and it would have been faster, but whatever. Craft a mace. Now I know pretty much all these rest of these bones are just free to use on whatever. I can use them on salves, I can use them in brazier later. I see stuff's kind of broken, so I'm like a little worried that actually nothing's gonna be here, but I go in and pretty much everything's there. I think it was just happened to be broken from maybe Alpha Wolf and those rogues fighting, I'm not sure. I'm looking for chests first, and then boxes. I see that there's a chest there, so I start pathing towards it. I get lumberjack axes, which is huge. At that point, I can just drop pretty much everything else. I would have kept mace here, and like thinking back on it, mace is faster than axes for breaking stone. But that said, I need the lumberjack axes for actual breaking copper anyway, so it's kind of a toss-up whether or not it was the right call or not. Whenever I'm in here and there's something I'm specifically trying to prioritize, I try to put it on my hotbar so I can see how much is there. So like right now I see that I have 8 planks. And I know I'm trying to get for like 12 plus, but for now, as long as I have 8, it's good enough because that gets you a workbench without having to make a lumber mill. So I path up this way, which is not normally the way I go, but for some reason I was like really concerned that someone else had been here, so I was like, okay, they probably won't come this way, which, I mean, they didn't, but also they didn't go anywhere else or any of the other boxes, so whatever. We just found a chest up here, which is nice. And some amethysts, those are good for the stone coffin quest later. That's important to keep those. I know I have axes and I see copper nodes, so I start hitting them. Worth doing. Like going to my first base. There's a couple like different strat lines that you can do. There's a Dunley lumber mill run you can do where you get a horse like basically right after Keeley, which is where we're heading to next, and then you run all the way over to Dunley Lumber, and then you loot that entire area. I can't remember if we actually do that in this run or not, but I think right now I'm just trying to go Keeley and then find somewhere to put down a house. I think that's actually what we do. Is we do go searching for a house because, like I said, this is a very populated server, so like pretty much everywhere is already taken, as you can see. I'm trying to figure out where the hell I am. Gotten lost. So okay, get back over to Keeley. Here I'm like, okay, I'll go look for some chests because this bandit encampment has a ton of whetstones. Those rangers, not the little rogue ones, but the deadeyes. Tend to have a really good whetstone drop rate. When you're like rushing, if you have like a duo and you have actual gear, it's very, very worth to come have one of your people come kill them like once you're around level 20. But they're pretty high level, so you kind of want to not do them right at 14 or 10, as it takes like a really long time. But any chests in there can give some decent whetstone, so worth just since I was already over there. It was like, okay, well, let's not make this detour complete waste. Early on, we're looking for 20 whetstones. That gives us 12 for our merc weapon, and then that gives us 8 more for 2 grinders, which 2 grinders is what you need for, well, you don't need it, but it is what I like to use for progressing and getting a stone castle set up, so I'm not getting sieged with bombs and shit. I see Meep here. I actually met him yesterday on the Vrising or V Arena Discord. So say hi. says something back in voice, but I don't have voice on, so I can't see anything. So I just move on. Messed up, he's trying to bully me 10 minutes into the server, man. My head. Alright, so Keely's next, so it's daytime, which is really annoying for Keely, but basically my general idea here is run in, let the bears out, let the wolves out, use the mobs for free DPS on those, and then loot as many boxes and chests as I can. We need to kill these things, because we are going to be like mostly cleaning through here. I think I just end up resetting them though, and then killing Keely off in the corner. It's little server disconnect side things where it's like I'm in wolf form already and then I jump and I get the iframe, but then I get hit anyway. So yeah, this is the strat I'm talking about where I let open the bears and I drag everything through the bears. A lot of the time the bears will just hit each other. So this doesn't always do too much. It kind of, like, you really have to drag things in. I do it pretty poorly here, but it does distract Keely for a little bit, and then I do get rugged hide and bones from it later, which is nice. I really thought I was getting hit by Keely there, but I didn't, which was nice. Oh, the wall ate it. I hate the shield guys, man. God. If this game didn't have the shield guys, we'd be in paradise. What's crazy is you can hit them, get stunned, and then if you just keep autoing like at full rate, you'll still hit their same shield again. Like it'll still be up if you hit it like instantly. I'm trying to deal with sun, which is obviously super annoying. Something with eating there I found out, like if you eat someone, it resets your sun status like completely. So the way sun works, I'm pretty sure, is that like basically you have this kind of like bar that's slowly filling up at all times when you're in the sun, and then when you're out of the sun it kind of slowly decreases as well back to 0. It doesn't like instant reset, but if you feed on somebody I think it instantly resets it back to 0. So something to keep in mind if you're in a rough situation, you get a lot of mobs on you and you're in the sun. Eating can save you from sun as well. Not only is it an iframe, but it actually just fully resets everything. Here I kind of troll a little bit, not because of the sun here, but I'm thinking, oh, I want to break these stones, I want to do my quests while I'm killing Keely. I mean, I do take some damage from the thing, but it's not a big deal from Keely anyway. But unfortunately I put Keely in a point where she was just going to hit all of the rocks for me, whereas instead I could have just killed her here next to these stones, and if I did that, it would have popped them and then actually did my quest for me. So instead of trying to do damage to them and have Keely do damage, like I should have just killed her nearby and let him pop, but it's a pretty small time loss in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, see, like her AoE kills that one, and so now I have just no stone, and I'm just like, oh, I'm sad. So here now, while I'm doing this, I'm trying to look at like, okay, inventory, what the hell am I doing next? So now I decide that I'm gonna run north and go for a horse. In a duo run, I don't do this, but in a solo run, I think it's worth it, especially in a run where you're in a server that's already populated and you're trying to find out, like where can I go, where can I put my house down. I think just getting a horse and running through all of Dunley and then afterwards running back down through Farbane is probably worth it. Something else I should be doing here is looking for how much leather I have. I don't actually know because I didn't put it on my bar like I normally do. I'm a bit rusty on these solo runs, so I've got different priorities on the other ones. I was excited there. I thought that book was going to be like Merc Weapons or something. It's just wall panels or some garbage like that, but that's whatever. I'm still looking for chests. I know I need... you also really need to watch how much course thread you have, which I didn't do here. I do have enough, which is good, and I'm lucky there, but if I hadn't checked, I would have been in kind of trouble. So I head north here, grab the waypoint, and then I need to go check the merchants really quick. I'm also still kind of looking for a place to set down a base. Oh, I think I actually base here first before I go and do the full run. Yeah, I think I do that actually. Sorry, I'm rewatching this live and I'm not gonna... It's a 5-hour run plus, so I don't want to redo takes halfway through. So we're just gonna do a one-time through, and if I If I make some stupid commentary, I make some stupid comment. Yeah, so I actually set up a base here. I want to just get things rolling. Get to Night Stalker, get to Copper, because I know I've been farming some already prior, right, on the way since I got the Lumberjack axes. That was why, actually, that is why I made the decision, right? So I had these Lumberjack axes, I had the Copper, and so because of that, I decided to sit down a base early, because I found one that's just kind of close. This is literally just a base to essentially get Copper and Night Stalker and nothing else. So I'm not gonna be too invested in it, but I still need to do some resource collection, and I still need to clear out some space. Unfortunately, this isn't like one of the best layouts, and there's really not much space here to like I have to actually do a lot of stuff here. So set a door up. I think I go really thin with this setup, and then I clear out like all of these trees, which before I'm doing this, I should probably be putting down like my lumber mill already. I should be putting down my tannery. I should be putting down my furnace, if I can. Like I should do all the quests that I can fast. But that said, if it's like a really active PvP server and it's like early on a wipe, I don't hate what I do here. I think I make sure I wall everything in first before I get anything out of my inventory. The idea there just being nobody can walk up and just grab my shit out of a chest, you know? Because again, everyone would be PvP protected, and then, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't stop them if you've just put stuff down. You can take stuff out, but okay, tannery. Get that stuff cooking because we need the leather. Yeah, so I see I only have 6 leather there. Generally speaking, you want about 300 leather left in your inventory when you're making a base because you'll need it for other random things. See, I need more stone. God, you always need more stone. Start the copper cooking. I'm like, okay, let's go find. Yeah, see, like, normally a lot of the bases have those kind of walls, those, like, really low health, easy to break down walls. That's the best source of stone. Unfortunately, I think both of the bases that I pick here just, like, don't have almost any of that. So I get basically none of that. I slow down a bit here in my beginning from that. As you can see, the server is kind of active, right? There are people typing. It's not like I'm finding a dead server to do this run on, by the way. Like, it is, I think there was like 20 plus people, 30 plus people on when I started this run. I really wanted to try to make this like, hey, this is a populated server, people are going to be popping, probably end up in some fights, see what's going on. We did get some PvP in this run, nothing too much. I got 2v1'd a few times. I tried my best, but I mean, it is what it is. But most of the time, because we are just trying to prog so fast, there's not too much PvP we go for. I am like going in the assumption that on this run, I'm going to use and abuse everything that I can to just go fast. I'm not going to abuse like bosses and glitches and stuff like that, but if I find a base that's open that I can loot, that stuff I'm going to take, right? I'm not trying to play this as like a quote-unquote ethical solo self-found speedrun or whatever, right? Like if people give me advantages, I'm going to take them. I'm not going to go out of my way to not use the advantages, essentially. So we had found topaz and rubies earlier on during the intro. Topaz is for the mace, which is ideally what you want to get. Rubies are for axes, so I ended up not getting the mace book from the vendor, so we have to just go with axes. I'm thinking about what else I should spend my money on, so I do want forged floors for this run really badly. But also pots are really nice, whetstones are really nice to buy if you have that excess, so something to keep in mind. It is worthwhile to use the money on that. You'll see later, instead of like spending my money here on whetstones, I end up having to go farm a whole bunch after Quincy. So it's time saved in different spots. I should have gotten more lumber probably before I went and checked the vendor, made sure everything was actually going for a while, because I do need a lot of planks early on. It's 8 planks for your workbench, 8 planks for your research bench, 8 planks for your tannery, I think, as well. So, like, 24 is the ideal number walking out of, like, Rufus and Keeley. But I think I got, like, 6, and then I think I got 8 total, and then I made them into a tannery, so then I had 0. And then after making this kind of a base, I didn't have much lumber left, so it was doing pretty fast. So here I'm kind of just like waiting for planks because I need to just make my workbench so I can actually gear up. Blood Rose Ring, full Night Stalker is what we're going for next, so we go grab our leather. We already have 20 because we put that down early, which is good. Waiting for a few more, which all good. Track Keely, untrack Keely, just for the quests. I drop off my Bone Guard because it's garbage, and I save most things for like my servants later in like a normal run if I'm sticking around in the server, but I probably will stop doing that because I really just don't tend to stick around in servers. I just get to my goal of whatever it is day one and then I did. It's just kind of my style. I don't really like the turbo endgame of Vrising too much. I'm excited to see what 1.0 brings with the new shard setup and whatnot. Should be a good time. Having a necklace and actually having like just events to go out and do constantly by like default, not just like relying on an admin to say, hey, we have an event here for stuff, maybe a shard or something, you know, whatever. So it'll be cool to actually have 1.0 do that. So I refund the tannery, get my planks back, put down the research bench, learn everything, refund that. On that. Okay, I should have refunded that. There's no reason to keep that down, really. Because at this point, I'm basically just trying to break down this base as I go. There's not too much I need else from this, so I'm thinking about putting more copper ingots in. I think I do cook some more. Oh, right, I need a little bit more. I'm very, very close. Yeah, it was one singular copper ingot off. Which, if it's 20, 16, I don't know what the hell is 20 times 16. It's like 320 or something like that. So that's the number I should have put in the first place, and I think I put like 300 in instead. So, alright, we have enough for axes, so we don't have the whetstones, right, so we're not making the merc axes yet, but, so I decided here now to go ahead and break everything down, so I refunded everything. I was like, oh, maybe I'll leave the coffin if I want to respawn in case I die. I end up not doing that, so I should have just refunded that in the first place. I hate that you can't just break stuff down with stuff in the inventory. It would be so much nicer. But get my axes, refund. Just have to fully refund everything. Again, this base was literally just for temporary, like, get to Night Stalker, get to Copper, get to level 27 essentially. Because after 27 you can pretty much do everything that you need to in Tier 1, including kill Quincy. Like, I mean, it's 10 under, but it's a pretty easy fight, so if you don't feel comfortable with it, you should practice it. Like, just do some T1 runs. Do Quincy % runs. I have another YouTube video of that as well. I did a 20-minute run for Quincy. Yeah, see, Coffin's coming back to bite me. Alright, so we've broken down everything. Now I'm like, okay, let's get a horse, which is what I was saying earlier. So instead of doing that at 14, I do that at 27, which is fine. I could have just gotten a horse, done everything, gone searching, and then done what I just did. But I was kind of trying to figure out what the hell to do. So off to the north. We only have 1% creature blood as well. We're halfway, like half blood, so we're also kind of looking for more. Make sure you grab in waygates as much as you can, like as you run places. It saves so much time and pain and headache later when you're like, man, I wish I'd just taken the extra 5 steps to grab the waygate. It's worth it. Just go grab it. For instance, a lot of solo runs or like duo runs when I'll do them, it'll be kind of like sketchy whether or not I actually end up getting the bear waygate, which is the one I just passed, like from Keely, because I don't end up going that far north. I'm kind of lost in this guy's house. It's like, damn, there's a whole ass farm here. I thought about just like harvesting everything, but I was like, okay, hold up. This base is just open. What's in here? I was like, prison. I'm like, please don't lock me in. I actually got scared here for a second. I was like, what if someone's just like waiting somehow? Like, and I just walked in and now I'm the prisoner? At this point, I'm just like kind of watching. It's like, there's maybe gonna be loot there, but I don't really need anything, so. Because corpse files will and NPCs will clear out everything, which is nice. Didn't pick up a lot of stuff. I've been like reading chat. Someone's like, I don't know. People in this server are a little interesting, that's for sure. I guess people in this game just kind of have a lot of people have egos. Interesting egos. Pretty sure this horse was dog. Yeah, this was like a 9.8 3.0, I think it was. I didn't quite catch it when I flicked it on tab, but I remember being really disappointed with this horse. As much as like acceleration 9.8 isn't terrible for max speed considering 11 is cap. But a 3.0 acceleration has killed me more times in runs than I'd like to admit. Acceleration, like a bad one, really sucks. So I'd take a little bit of a slower horse with a higher, like a 6.0 acceleration any day of the week. So 9.7, 3.8, still kind of rough. I'm assuming this one's going to be shit too, but like I said, this one has a 5.1 acceleration and it's 9.0 max speed. I would literally rather take this horse than a 9.8 3.0 because what happens is you have a really bad acceleration horse. Sometimes you'll find that you jump on it and then it'll just start walking backwards if you hold forward on it, like if you're trying to go. The way to fix that is you just do a neutral input so you don't hit forward when you click on it. I'm really scared here. I'm like, oh god, please no. And of course the horse is bad, but yeah. So we're just like hopping horses here. We're basically, this is a run around Dunley, find a good horse goal, and then find a home goal. My ideal spot is this one from that Do or whatever the hell his name was has. This is a scary pack. You have to dodge to the right of the brute and then immediately dodge back left to the fire archer. It's kind of just something you have to practice for how to dodge those things, but both of them will basically one-shot you. Like, okay, another horse. Let's try this one. And we hit the jackpot. 10.8, 6.8. This horse is my Ferrari, and we end up actually keeping this horse throughout the whole run, which made me very happy. Now, that said, I do kind of cheat here. A little later, I ask for if anyone will let me touch their level 4 heart, and then the admin literally ports me to their heart. You'll see it later, but I was not expecting for that to happen. But I figure, honestly, if you're joining in late, it's so worth just asking if someone will let you touch the level 4 heart to dominate a horse. It's sometimes it happens, and sometimes people will just say, yeah, sure, here you go. Like, again, like I said, I'm not trying to play this like super solo self-found, you know, full legit. Like if there are benefits to be taken, I'm gonna take them. Like this guy just died to a werewolf with so much stuff. I was like, what in the hell? I was like, what do I even drop? He's got dust collars. He's got 2 different recipes. He's got sun potions. He's got blood rose brew. He's got he has a straw hat, which I want. Yeah, see, like look at that. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's going on. The vampire hat is cool. I leave a couple things that I'm like, man, I kind of wish I had space for, but I just like nothing in my inventory I wanted to drop right then. So there's probably stuff that I'll see later, but I was still trying to go fast at this point, so yeah. So again, I haven't found any space that I'm like, oh, I'm happy, like I can put a house down. Wool thread is also a problem later, which I'm kind of regretting that I didn't have those, but it is what it is. I'm thinking about putting one down right next to Dunley Lumber because that flat area is open, and I'm like, you know, we're already like close enough to this like bottom waypoint. This is another spot I use in solo runs. Let's just go check there, see what's going on. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly, I'm getting all the waypoints. I'm kind of just charting where everybody's at. I almost hop off my horse, and I'm like, no, this is a good horse. We're good. We don't need to look at horses anymore. But if it was a bad horse, I would keep hopping. Like every single horse I see, just try it out. Like it's so worth. Like it saves so much time to have a good horse with acceleration and speed. Turn speed's not as important, but this is the next 2 spots that I would use. This one is right next to the waypoint. It's kind of got a weird one. I'm actually like, is this decaying? Like I can't tell from the little thing, and I look up and I see nothing's built, and I was like, oh maybe, and then I see there's very much something built, and I was like, oh okay, this is not decaying. But it's nice to check these houses because like sometimes people just leave their shit open, man, and you can get a lot of things. It's worth giving things like a little peep test. I like this little array of trees he's got going on. I'm sure this makes it hell to grass on a raid, but that's another one of my favorite spots. I really like that house location. So at this point, I'm like looking around. I'm like, all right, let's go Farbane. I'm almost certain I say, okay, we're going Farbane. And the reason for this is Farbane is actually really good for tier like 3 prog. So when we have caves, it is very, very, very good. Just use the caves constantly for. Also even tier 2, right? Because you're doing Dunley, and Dunley has a cave that brings you back to Farbane anyway. And so Farbane actually is really quick. The problem is on a like fresh wipe, it is hectic. There's a lot of people, and it's kind of hard to find a good location that's defendable and not ratable by somebody with like a horse queue, like jumping off a horse, or just whatever, right? Like trying to find a decent home in Farbane can be difficult because everyone's already here and everyone's put down their shit, right? But I decided let's just go search through Farbane. I'm trying to keep near to the cave, right? So you see the cave on my minimap there. I'm like, okay, that's the goal. That's where we come out of. So let's try to find something. So I'm just kind of doing a loop here. Anywhere kind of close. Like if I'm within anything, I'm happy about it. And so I see this spot, and I'm like, okay, this is a double-sided defense spot, but also raiding doesn't happen until the weekend, and I'm not really caring. And I'm like, oh my god, what the hell happened here? I'm pretty sure a base decayed and someone destroyed it and then just left. I think I don't really know why all of this loot is on the ground, but I'm not questioning it. I just know my inventory is full as hell, so I'm like, okay, let's get shit down. Let's try to get like some storage down, clear out these stupid wolves. Like, I should have probably eaten that instead, but I'm so like, oh my god, someone's gonna come around here and take all the shit, and I'm gonna be so sad because this is such a huge boost of just random resources that are just piled on the ground for literally no reason. The moon happens, or the nighttime happens. The day is a little shorter in this server than a regular server. That is actually one of the other changes I forgot about, but it's not that big of a deal of a change. So for now, I'm just like, okay, let's just put things down. Just dump, right? So I just like, okay, anything that's like raw resources that should go into my like, I have like kind of a setup of how I do my chests. Anything that's raw is going in there. There's alright, compulsive sort, and I'm like, okay, there's cold jewelry here, so I don't know what the hell happened. I'm like, I'm so lost as to like how this pile happened. Because I'm like, oh, it's probably just someone who was in tier 1 who quit early or something, right? And then jewelry there. But I think you can get it actually from early bosses. It's just like super rare. I think Quincy Past has a chance to give some. So that's probably what ended up happening. I look there, like those are weapons, so I'm like, oh, maybe it's like copper or something that's just dropped or something, but no. Never lucky, just reinforced bone, so I don't know. Yeah, the guy must have just killed Quincy, got some gold jewelry, and quit or something, I don't know. Not sure. So my second chest is always kind of like my fully refined stuff, and then, but because this one is my vamp chest, I'm like, okay, let's put all our valuable shit in here. There's no real reason that I need to use a vamp chest in this run, because again, raiding just doesn't happen until the weekends, and I'm not playing this longer than a day, and today's, Tuesday, so. No real reason for me to use a vamp chest, but it's good habit just to have one. If you have it in the server, use it. Put your good shit in there. Just don't take it out. Like, play is garbage. I really wish you could turn off cosmetic items like as a drop. It shit just fills up my inventory, and I don't want it. Something you can do is like a tip, you could bind, like change the bind to drop something out of your inventory. So like right now I have my drop item bound to my mouse wheel click. So like I click my mouse wheel and it drops something out of my inventory when I'm hovering it. Really, really nice bind to have, just like for anything. It's, if I remember correctly, it's by default like tied with like a bunch of other things. Like I think repair is also the same thing for some reason, and it causes issues would highly recommend rebinding it to something else that you like, because it's really good for inventory management. But like while you're walking around, there's auto run in this game as well. Set that to a bind that you're used to, or that you like. It's really useful to use for like even short periods of time, right? If you know you're going straight for like 100 meters or something, you just click your auto run, you hit your inventory, and then you can start sorting, right? So you sort stuff. You can drop things that are garbage, and you'll find that like you have a lot more space that way, especially on servers that don't have as much inventory stack as this one does. This one has a 2.5 inventory stack, which is nice, but a lot of the time other servers have like either 1.1 inventory stack, which is awful for a solo player, or 2 even, and even then it can, like, inventory can get pretty tight, so good to like take your time, use your inventory management when you can. So for now I'm just like, okay, let's just get everything down. Let's just get a full walled circle base. I go all the way to these stairs here because I know you can horse jump in all the way back there from those stairs. To happen. So this is my first step, kind of wall myself in. I give myself a couple doors, different access points and exit points, because I don't really know exactly where I'm at right now. Like I remember setting this up and I'm just like not really thinking about where I'm at, but I don't really have to right now. I just kind of say, okay, you know what, I'll just give myself doors on all sides. Alright, what do I need? I need wood. I know I have a shitload of wood from just the stuff that I dropped before. So here I'm like, okay, I need to add some more flooring. I'm like, because I don't know, I just can't do the whole like, oh, I'm just gonna cut off these two pieces, because I have to keep the wall out there anyway so people can't jump in. I'm like, alright, I'll just have this stupid little 2x2 out in the corner. We end up using it later for our grinder and our, there's a nice 2x2 setup for 2 grinders and 2 lumber mills, and we end up using it for that later, but for now, it's just an exit point to go that way. So I have that one, I have the one by that side, and then I'm like, okay, you know what, let's put one more over here. So now I can kind of go out any way I want. I'm like, okay, we have a setup here. Let's move the heart somewhere, and I see that spot. That's for like in my base, that feels really nice. For defense, it's not super good, but this base in general is just terrible for defense, so it doesn't really matter. Again, I'm just kind of doing organizational stuff. For me, doing a little bit of organizing like this right now saves a lot of time later when I'm trying to scramble and find where the hell did I put everything. So I kind of have a general plan of how many chests I have down and what goes in each chest. So it kind of goes from left to right, my raw materials. So now I'm like, okay, let's sort them all out. So this is all my raw stuff. Then it goes my refined after that, which that raw one's already full, which is rough for me, but it's a good problem to have, I guess. So this is like kind of all my refined materials. So if I had copper ingots or had whetstone, anything that you already saw in that chest would be there. This is my tailoring chest. I forgot to take out the other stuff, and so later I kind of get confused where all my stuff is at, but that is my tailor slash research one. This one is my alchemy one, so I put like fish, potions, plants, etc. into this one. I'm pretty sure maybe I don't put fish in. I think fish might go into a miscellaneous one. I see flowers, so I'm like, I'll put this in. Fish goes on this one, I guess. Yeah, I think this is my like miscellaneous dump one. And then normally I have a gem one as well, but I kind of forgot about it right now because I didn't have gems in my thing, and I put all my gems into my vamp chest anyway. So anyway, okay, so I have everything down here. So I'm like, okay, what the hell do I do? I am level 27. I am pretty much ready to go kill Bear at this point to go do Quincy, but I'm like, okay, you know what? We should get the actual like stuff for the base set up. Let's workbench down. Let's get wood mill, or yeah, lumber mill, furnaces, all the good stuff. And you can do this whenever. I just kind of choose to do it now. I can start refining some of that like ton of raw material I had. I always like 2 lumber mills, 4 furnaces. Even on a 2x refine rate, I think it's fine. I don't think you really need more than that. Furnaces you can go up a little bit, maybe, like 5, 6 on a 2x. On a 3x it's completely unnecessary. On a 1x I would recommend somewhere between 6 to 7 furnaces. It's worth having that many. It's a pain in the ass having to collect so much copper. but definitely worth the investment of time. The slow refine rate when you hit iron and dark silver just feels so bad. Get our tannery down. Again, we just needed planks for that, so that stuff going. Again, I try to keep a little bit of every raw resource at hand. But you never know like what exactly you're gonna need for like the next thing you're trying to put down. So I try not to just dump everything in to be refined all the time. So I know Merc Copper Axes is the next thing we're going to, so I'm kind of like trying to orientate my goals for that. I know we already have the rubies, which is good. We have 2 whetstones already, and then copper is like already going, and then it's leather from there. So, and we just made the leather. Drop the stone dust. Again, one of the just useless things that I think is just for cosmetic stuff. Actually, no, that one you can use for making whetstones, I think. But I don't. I'm looking for my horse here. I'm like, where the hell's my horse? Because I had that, like, I'm like, oh my god, I have that 10.8 horse or whatever. Where the hell did I lose it to? Thankfully, we didn't lose it. It was just stuck back there. This rat tries to get in the way of me building. All good. At this point, I think I'm like, okay, do we have everything? We have heals, we have coins. I need to go check for different random things again. And I see Tristan and Alpha. I'm like, okay. Find some water skins, which is really nice actually. Keeps my horse alive, because you never know on a late server start like how long a horse has left. Kind of stressful. Nice to get the water skins in there, because I don't really like to make them. Because normally on like a fresh horse, I think you have enough time to literally get a shard on the fresh horse, or at least get to a level 4 Castle Heart. So before I go to Bear, I'm just like, okay, you know what? Let's do one quick check here. See if the doors are open. If they are, we'll go kill Quincy. If they're not, we go to Grayson Waypoint, and then we'll just go over to Bear from there. But it is open, so like, oh sweet. It's a free Quincy angle. So we're 40 minutes in now. If you're on a 30-minute server, it's pretty stressful to come in here like this at 27 with your like good horse and stuff. So maybe consider leaving your horse at home. If you have a good horse. If you have a shit horse, just bring it. Who cares, right? You can find another one, but it also sometimes is worth like trying to go get your merc weapon done first, but it's kind of your choice. But with 2-hour protection here, I feel completely fine just walking up to Quincy and killing him. Also, again, since I'm late, there's not like people camping Quincy or anything, trying to like gatekeep or something, which is nice. Play a little ring around the rosy. Normally I like to counter his shield slam like that, and then dodge for his dash. But for some reason this time I try to be a little more aggressive and start countering his autos, which is fine, but and then I run into weird shit like that where it's like I'm trying to dash through his slam and I do it a little late and I get hit even though I halfway dashed, and yeah, I don't know. I have a set pattern that I'm used to. I'm kind of nervous because this run's going so well. I feel pretty happy about how the start has gone. It's not crazy or anything, but I don't know why. I'm just kind of playing poorly. I haven't decided whether or not Frostbats is better or Blood Bolt thing, Shadow Bolt, whatever it's called. I think Frostbats is actually better DPS, but I'm really not sure. I really should do the like just actually calc it out. Sometimes you get an early Lydia, and then Chaos Volley just becomes significantly better, but we didn't get one of those this time around. Rise to the challenge. We kill ads. There's no rush here. We're not doing Quincy %. We're not doing whatever. It's worth to just kill the ads, make it easier. Take a stupid hit there. I need to really practice clicking cancel instead of just tossing my shit to the wind when there's a barrier. Really not worth wasting that cast like that. Barrier, take some damage. Classic. Say okay, let's just be safe. Heal up. Again, we are 10 levels under here, right? So it's not exactly like the furriest fight ever, but his mechanics are extremely simple. I shouldn't be making the mistakes I'm making. For that one, if you're having trouble dodging his third one, so like, cause you can dash once, you leave your illusion there for a little while, and he'll target that one, and then he'll dash to you. Just try to draw a 90-degree angle, like directly away from where he's dashing, and you'll almost always dodge it, no matter like what blood you have. What I don't notice here is that my blood is actually getting really low. You can use your Q also to dodge like I do there, which is nice. So again, I'm like trying to set up just a 90-degree angle directly away from wherever he's charging from. With the idea being, if you do that, you'll almost always be able to walk out in time. If you're having difficulty understanding where those things, where his like lines kind of hit, you have to imagine that there's like these big circles on the ground basically for each section. You can kind of see them if you look at it closely. And those circles kind of notate where it is that he's going to, like they kind of pop. So it's not just like in a small straight line, it's like there are 5 circles I think on each one where it just like pops and it hurts pretty bad. They do like 80 or 90 damage early on. So it's on daytime now, so I kind of drag him over to the shade. There's a strat where if it is just a full sun, you can kill him under these banners and these shades on each wall. It's pretty annoying, but frequency kill, no harassment. I'm low on food, so I eat a heart. Get to frail, it's fine. Should have eaten something earlier. And now we need whetstones. My next goal is 20 whetstones. So basically we just are going to clear out this camp. Those rangers right there, the Deadeye is the one that has like the highest chance. And hate these shield guys. Like, man. The assassin, see, that's what I mean by if you just auto twice in a row, you'll hit his same shield again. The assassin in the back there just kind of derps, and I don't know what goes on there with his AI. Something bugged. I had never seen that before, so that one was new to me. If you get those guys low, as soon as they pop out, you can just feed on them instead of like actually having a counter. So you just kind of have to keep a track on their HP. So I see it's 19 rogue, and I'm like, okay, that's gonna be what I eat, and then I accidentally left clicking anyway. I'm like, that's not what I meant to do. So now I'm just sitting on frail still for this instead of having 19 rogue, which is it's a small mistake. Something crazy though. Little move speed and crit chance. Nothing crazy. Again, this is like me just trying to organize my inventory. Looking for whetstones still, so as soon as I get them, I try to put them in my slots there so I can track how many I have without having to open my inventory. Later on, I have weapons, and so I'll put weapons all the way across, right? But for now, when we're doing small inventory management too, it's good to just put like random stuff in your hotbar. Still getting used to this server a little bit. There's a little bit of lag, but I'm also just kind of playing meh. Find a 14 rogue. It's nothing crazy. Better than frail though. Okay, do we have any whetstones yet? And the answer is unfortunately no. No, we do not. So we're really looking for chests. We're looking for archers to kill. All these packs have chances to kill them. All of the different breakables have chances for whetstones. Find a chest. Find nothing, which is pretty depressing. That was a 46 creature, which also would have been a lot nicer to have than the 15 rogue or 14 rogue, whatever I have, but it's fine. It's pretty hard to kill the dog last in this pack, so I'm not too worried about it. I kill the bombers first here because you can't counter the bombers, whereas you can use counter on the spear, so that's why I leave the spear up. It's just more damage overall. Finally get some whetstones. Pretty excited about that. Try to figure out what it is. It's 30 brute and for the crit and move speed, but I don't even think I'm getting move speed right now, so might have been better to take the attack speed and healing. Brute is probably the worst blood in the game right now, just overall, but if you have a high enough version of Brute, it's significantly better than anything that's low, right? So you're getting a ton of attack speed, which is still damage at the end of the day, and it is healing, so it's pretty good. Throw the whetstones up, or I don't, or I think I do. Yep, drop the stone dust, finish up some sulfur. We need around 420 sulfur, for our smithy. So I don't know how the hell that shot went down. I could have sworn I was pointed right at her, but it was weird. That was a weird one. Yeah, anyway, we need 420 sulfur-ish, give or take, for our smithy. I think it's 16 that we need, like, actually to craft it. Then we need a bunch more later anyway, but early on, you really gotta prioritize getting around 420, so it's like 2 or 3 nodes depending on your server. 4, I think, on a 1x even. Sorry, I'm yawning a little bit. It's midnight o'clock around here. I just finished up the run. I just kind of want to do the voiceover now. I might break it into sections, do like an Act 1, Act 2, and then come back tomorrow when I'm not as tired, so I'm not yawning halfway through this stuff. But we'll see. Again, just clearing, breaking all the boxes, checking for chests. There's a lot of chests that spawn over here, just didn't get any this time. Like, I've seen 3 chests spawn here, including a golden and 2 regulars, so this is a good area to check. Down below, this next section is actually kind of scary. So you gotta be careful not to pull too much, because you can really get in over your head really fast. So I really try to only pull like 1 pack at a time, so I'm like really hovering here. I'm not like going and breaking stuff at the same time. I'm not kiting them around, because it's just not worth it. I've had times where I pull pretty much everything and then just die trying to go too fast. So I'm trying to play more consistent in this run, as it is a 6-hour-ish run that I'm planning on. So, well, really I was planning on about an 8-hour run, but thankfully we did it in shorter than that. Hence why we're uploading. Yeah, so again, like even these 2 packs together, it's just like, man. Shield guy, you got bomber, you have nets, you got just archers in the back, you got a dog. It can be worse, you could have like dead eyes and stuff too. Back just lobbing just bullets at your head. But down on the ground, immediately dash towards it. It's the good stuff. 10 at this point, which is nice. 12 is the minimum we need to get out of here. But ideally we get 20, so we have a to go farm whetstones over again. 12 gets us our merc weapon, 16 for 1 grinder, so if, you know, it's 4 per grinder. If you need 2, which realistically you probably want 2, especially if you're doing, what's it called, ghost crystal and stuff, like you're doing a full run, you're gonna want 2. But what is sometimes tolerable depending on your refine rate. Just gotta check on your server. I know this one was 2x, so I choose to have 2 grinders. This means a little more whetstone grinding. See, it's a 21. Like, you know what? That's an improvement. Let's try to get it. Not crazy, but I have used a decent bit of blood just doing this, because, you know, you're using stuff as you just hit things. So again, I know I'm gonna eat it, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna let it follow me around. That archer doesn't do anything. They're really gentle. More whetstones from both, and bam, we're at 20 all of a sudden. I remember in the run, and then, like, even just now watching this, I'm like, how the hell did I get 20 whetstones all of a sudden? I had 10 2 seconds ago, but... Alright, fuck it, we take it, we're out. We're done with Quincy area. Shouldn't path this way, I should path up to the right, it's faster, but... variants elsewhere. I'm trying to figure out what else to do now. I'm like, okay, do I skip bear? Do I go bear anyway? And we end up choosing to get bear for him because we need it for Iron Cave. If you're in a duo run, it's definitely worth having one of your people skip bear and just having one other person do it instead of 2. and then having the other person go set up like your base or something. There's a lot of things you can do while the other person is collecting bear form, but for now I decided to head back home. I think I'm at this point gonna go grab the some more copper, I guess, and then Grayson waypoint. I don't actually kill Grayson in this run, I don't think. I don't think I do. Actually, I'm almost certain I don't. Workshop flooring just doesn't feel worth it to me. Because by the time you kill both Cyril and what the fuck's his name? Foulrot, you need to kill both of them. You have a good amount of time to collect Ghost Crystal. If it's like really hyper competitive and you're like in the shit with everybody, then at that point, after you've seen that you have a low amount of Ghost Crystal and Scourge Stone, it might be worth going to Grayson really quick and then just throwing down your your whatever flooring for it that he gives you for the 25% reduction cost. But I don't think I do that in this run at all. I don't feel the need. I'm just trying to split even here to like let him cook, and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's 2x refine. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just throw it into 4 stacks and get it going. We got things to do. Some servers have a dot stash option where it will compulsively sort within 3 meters. This one is not one of those, which is depressing. Something to keep in mind when you're playing in PvP servers, a lot of them turn the decay rate significantly up on your heart blood, so make sure you're dumping stuff into there, because if you don't, you're gonna end up like, you know, and maybe if you just start and you play a couple hours and you want to log out or something, you're gonna come back to your heart being fully decayed the next day, and you're not gonna castle anymore. So really watch your heart and how much blood essence you get into it on your day 1. Make sure it's going to last until your next you're on a live PvP server. You have 4 unsullieds here. Turn on blood press. Get the GB going. Copper, just pick everything up. You need a good bit of copper for different things. Grinders being one of them. Just throw these guys down. Get some stone going in it. Pretty sure I could grab all my other stone as well. Because again, we're going to turn this entire place into castle. This is home. Final location. I'm trying to upgrade our heart right now so I can get to stone. Need 12 copper for that, as well as 12 leather. So that's what we're doing right now. We're just kind of splitting things out. Going. Okay, well, let's see what else we got going on. So I got 82 planks, and I know, like, I just started my grinder anyway, so I'm like, okay, that's gotta have to cook. So now I think I'm like, okay, let's head over to Bear. I'm pretty sure I dumped some more stuff in for leather. You need leather more later as well if you need cloth. In this run we do end up needing to make cloth, so it's fiber and leather in your loom. That's for cloth for making silk for Dawnthorn stuff later, but you need a good chunk of that later on. But for now, we kind of make our way through it. I want to have more wood in the thing when it's like, ideally you want to have everything going when you leave, right? So if you're leaving your house, you want to try to have everything as full as possible when it's like early, especially, right? When you know you need more planks, you know you're gonna need to grind bricks, you know you're gonna need to get leather going, you know you want your furnaces running. The more things you can have running while you're out and about, the better. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to optimize a little bit. Just go cut a bunch of wood, get the lumber mills rolling while I'm gonna go kill bear first. So also been about an hour at this point on the run. I'm really taking my time in T1 because I have the 2-hour protection. I don't think that if I didn't, like, If I had only 30-minute protection, I would probably play my T1 a little bit different. I'd really try to be rushed to getting to like Beatrice, trying to get to Cotton like just as fast as possible to try to get ahead of the pack. But because right now I'm already late in the wipe and I have 2 hours of PvP protection, I know I can kind of take this time to really set up and launch through for T2, and you'll end up seeing the effects of that in our T2. Our T2 felt very, very quick for a solo playthrough. I was very happy with T2. Again, we need more sulfur for the smithy. That's kind of what I did. It's like, oh, nice, free sulfur node. We'll just grab that now. Yeah, so like I said, it's about 420 we need. We have like 500 already here, so that's awesome. I just tossed that in. I condensed down the trash like this, so like this is like 3 extra copper ingots there that like if I didn't redo that, I wouldn't have had later. So I tossed some of that in because I know I'll need gem dust later. I don't need my rubies or pretty much any of my crude stuff. Amethyst you do need for stone coffin later, that's why I keep those and I don't toss those in as well. But you do need gem dust for waypoints and for your skirt. So you grab those. Actually, do you need it for your wig? That or you need grave dust? Anyway, now I'm gonna grab Grace and Waypoint, and then from there we're gonna head over and kill Bear. That waypoint is good because it gives you access to both vendors, because you already had the one vendor waypoint from Keeley. So taking this one-time trek, 300 meters over here to the waypoint, which is actually I think the closest waypoint to this base that I happen to grab. It's definitely worth having both, just because why not? Good for the varied merchant stock. So if you need to buy potions later, you need to buy forge floorings later, you have 2 different shops to search from at ease of just hitting up a waypoint instead of having to run all the way across later on, especially when we're already this close just being in Farbane. Alright, so we get the waypoint, head over to the bear. Yeah, I see 2 gold chests here, and I'm like, listen, I'm not a Vrising player if I don't open up these 2 gold chests. How could I not? Like, it's probably gonna be garbage, and I'm thinking that this whole time, but you know what? I just got 2 sunbrews out of it. It's already worth it to me. I get some more water skins for my horse. That's my Ferrari, my baby. I never get a good horse, I swear, in these runs, so the fact I actually hit a crazy one this time around, I was so excited. We get a bunch of gems and 2 different jewels. Blood Rage is sick. Phantom Angus, not so sick. Phantom Angus is very, very good and is meta. But for these runs, I don't really like using it. I much prefer just full aggression, full blood rage, or something like that. And since this one was shield on blood rage, I actually really like that as an ability. It gives a nice extra layer of sustain to the already healing that you're gonna get. Shield just seems like a very rare resource to get from something that isn't literally Vegas, or like a jewel, right? So it's cool to have that on top of already having like good damage from blood rage and healing, attack speed, all that good stuff. So I'm pretty sure I kill Bear here and then go to Rufus because I get that jewel. Sometimes I skip blood rage and just go for like chaos folly instead. But I've been finding that more and more I really do like just having blood rage. It's great for farm when you need to do whatever, right? You're just stone, you need lumber. It's great for that, and then it's also just good for PvE stuff. Bear's a pretty straightforward fight. It can be optimized pretty well, but with axes it's kind of rough. You don't have great range, and it is what it is. Hit the bear. Don't get hit by his stomps or swipes. I don't know why he does that sometimes these days, where he'll just bug out. He'll just stand there and do nothing. I've had it happen twice to me in the last 2 runs. Like, each time I kill him, he's done that. And I don't really know why. A little bit of a sketchy spot there. I really like Hell's Clarions now, but that said, I probably shouldn't have even worried about these since we already got the Dust Collars from that one guy who died, which actually let us skip Clive this run, which was... If you're planning on playing a server only to like 74 like this run is, I don't think the Hell's Clarions and Clive is worth it. But if you're playing to 83 and don't want to, like, I don't know. I think the Dust Collars are so good to have because you never know. You're gonna be going somewhere. You're gonna be buffed up. You're gonna be prepped, and then you're gonna get there and the mob right before a boss is gonna be like 100 rogue or something, and you're gonna have to walk your whole happy ass all the way back home, and then come all the way back, and then someone else took the kill, and now you're waiting for 5 minutes. I speak from experience. It's pain. So just kill Clive, get the Dust Collars. It's worth it. I think I actually do end up killing Clive this one just for Chaos Dash, but normally I get him for the actual alchemy table, like earlier. Try to drag your bear near to this side for a little bit of speed, but otherwise it's pretty much just kill the bear. Trying to find where the hell Rufus is and mark it. I am still fairly new to the game. I'm about 300 hours in now. So the map sometimes I just forget. I grab more Hell's Clarions, like I said, not worth it. I literally don't even never. Pretty sure. I don't think I actually put down an alchemy table. Time loss. Again, I wasn't like really trying to like go crazy with the speed on this one. I noticed that I don't get a hay back, so I had to. I get stuck in some trees. It's all going downhill at this point, considering quitting everything. I figure, let's get to Rufus. Let's go. Again, whole bunch of stuff on the ground. I'm like, sweet. Always, always, always park your horse in the shade. Something I've learned. I think I don't get out of here before nighttime anyway, but and servers where like the daytime is the actual full time. Making a habit of parking your horse in the shade is just so mandatory. Like I can't even explain how much it's saved me learning to do that, because for the first like 10 playthroughs I did of this game, the amount of HP I've lost in just standing in the sun trying to get back on my horse is too much. It was pretty much just a tank and spank at this point. I mean, we're over leveled by 10, so. Finish it! Every boss is just like wanting to die here. I noticed right now that I didn't put the ulti on from. Like you should basically every time you be killing, like you are killing him, just open up your skills menu and put it to chaos. Just as soon as you kill him, put it on. Especially if you're in like a high-paced PvP server, it's worth taking the literal 1 second it takes to get that ult on, in case you get put into a PvP situation and you need it. And then you just don't have it equipped. I'm trying to pick up stuff here, and I accidentally feed on one of the wolves that's next to Alpha Wolf. A little unlucky, but it happens when you're just holding down inner. Sorry. Something I do a lot this run, I think I lose actually probably like at least a minute to that chest next to the door is a little too close, and so my click will sometimes like open my door instead of the chest. Something I've learned this run, just don't do that. Don't put your chest that close to your door. It's not worth it. First thing is first, I try to wall off with stone wherever I can. I'm playing as if I'm panicked about raiding. There is no raiding on the server until the weekend, and again, it's a Tuesday, so I'm not really sure why I'm investing in this time, but it's something I would do in a normal server anyway, so it's kind of like one of those, like, well, I would do it in other servers, so I should do it in this one. I realized I forget to servant lock everything, so I swatch everything to servant locks. And now we're kind of like half walled in. Now I'm just waiting on more stone brick, which sucks. I also see that I don't have that much stone in here in the first place. So I think I might go harvest some more stone. I can't remember what I do. I do. See that? That's a weird bug there. I don't know what the hell happened there, where it's like turns the walls completely see-through. I'd never seen that before. I wonder if it's because there's like a tree going so close to the wall. I don't really know. Not sure. Again, if I didn't have PvP protection for another 50 minutes, I would be kind of shitting myself and trying to get out and get stuff done in Tier 2 zone, because Tier 2 zone is hot, especially early on a wipe, so the more you can like get done with your PvP time, like protection, the better. You really want to prioritize like your iron collection, so you go into Iron Cave, getting your cotton collection done. Cotton takes a really long time to respawn, so if you can be the first person out there with a merc weapon, like it's probably even worth skipping Quincy if it's open to just go get cotton, because of how long it takes to respawn. So like if I'm on a fresh wipe, I'm basically sprinting to cotton because it's such a pain to get when like everybody and their mom is trying to get cotton for their tier 2, and it takes 20 years to respawn, and there's only like 7 or 8 cotton plants across the entire map, so it's like it gets bad. This tree in here, I'm like, this probably isn't worth killing, but you know what? It's a lot of wood, and I kind of need wood anyway, and I don't feel like leaving my little plateau here, so fuck it, I'll just kill this tree. Only entangles me. I was like, wait, that didn't do any damage. Like, I've never fought a treant before. This is the first time I fought one. So I was like, pretty unsure what to do. My counter just gets eaten there. It's just ping. It's unfortunate. Server delay shit. And I'm like, oh, I'll just tank this. And then I realized that it's actually, in fact, supposed to do damage. And then I can't get out of that. And then I take a shitload more damage. I was like, well, that was not worth it. That was... Yeah, so, learn from me. Just keep circling around the treant. Don't just face tank it. It's not worth it. It does damage. And yeah, see, Blood Rage is really nice for this. It gives a ton of like extra farm speed. Your auto attacks go so much quicker for that time. 6 auto attacks and for 1 Blood Rage cast. Quite good. I think this tree was the reason why it bugged and like you could see through everything so weirdly. I don't know. Weird. Like, alright, we've done some good collection, because I know I need to clear out the entire rest of this. Bear form has really good passive regen for your HP. If you look at the tooltip, it says slightly increases. That's a fucking lie. It very significantly increases your HP regen. Like, it is very good. Like, if you watch here, like, I just go into bear form and just do like some basic house stuff, and my HP is just climbing. In comparison, if I'm in like wolf form or human form when I'm doing this, it won't have changed at all. Whereas this one, it'll be full like very quickly here. So it's not the end of the world taking damage from the treant like that. So I start making my miscellaneous tab. I'm like, okay, what the hell can I dump in here? I guess my blood essence, pollen, some seeds, or jewels. Not gems. Gems I normally have one for. Yeah, see, this is what I mean right there. I put that chest just a little too close. Both of them. Normally if I have dust collars, I always say that you should have it on you when you leave the house. Like, always have one, just whenever you leave. But since I don't have a prison to send them back to you, I don't do that yet. And I'm not gonna go rush out Vincent, like, at level 30 to try to... It's just not worth it. I normally wait till, like, anywhere between 40 to kill Vincent. Depends on, like, either before or after Scourge Stone Necklace. Depending on if I've seen something. I'm like, alright, let's go to Iron Cave. See, my HP's already back to full. Chilling. Time to get our iron cooking. Probably should have done that earlier and then done all of that while the iron was cooking. But minor optimization. It was like either I leave the house. Yeah, I I noticed that I accidentally brought a book which can't be teleported. It's either I leave the house with nothing refining, or I do that collection, I refine, and then I go get the iron. So it's probably better to get the iron because it simply takes longer for it to refine. But that said, you don't need to actually like have it refine for that long. So I don't think it matters too much. Either way, as long as you're doing something and like you're trying to always be refining and progressing as you go, that's gonna be your best bet. Alright, but before we get into this iron, I'm gonna go ahead and pause here. I'll break this into another video tomorrow. So this will be the part 1 finish, and we'll pick up the rest of the run. So see you later, and like the video if content so far. Look forward to part 2.